What a group here tonight. So many memories among all the guests that we have here tonight, and now we're honoring a man who probably has given this city more wonderful memories than anybody else. And I'm going to come at this a little bit differently, not as someone who lives in Los Angeles, but as someone who has actually worked with Vin Scully. Yes, even in baseball games in Dodger Stadium, but also Vin Scully, for you youngsters, was one of the best NFL play-by-play announcers that we ever had back in the 70s. You could always tell that Vin Scully was in the booth because he was so detailed about everything. I've been around a lot of announcers, Hall of Famers all. Two more are going to come out here tonight, Al Michaels and Bob Costas. But no one that I have ever seen or worked with has ever come to a broadcast more prepared than Vin Scully. And when he decided that he was going to step away from the National Football League and CBS, the last game that he broadcast was one of the classics, an NFL championship game in the NFC, in the National Football Conference, between the Dallas Cowboys and the San Francisco 49ers. Cowboys were favored, but Joe Montana and the 49ers had other ideas. The NFL today was down on the field, and we were getting ready for the postgame show, but everything was up in the air. Cowboys had the lead, but Montana was driving the 49ers. I was about at midfield, and I had to go to the other end of the field to set up Phyllis and Irv, but I so wanted to see what Montana was going to do. And I remember looking from behind at about the 45 as I was making my way back, and I saw Montana throw the ball, and I thought, he's throwing it into the stands. And all of a sudden, this enormous roar erupted, and I realized that a 49er receiver had caught the ball. But it wasn't until I heard Vin Scully's great call on Dwight Clark making that catch that I knew who had caught it, and we got the pregame and the postgame show underway for the next day and everything that followed behind it. But what a game to end your NFL career on. One of the greatest games ever played, and it was Vin Scully working alongside the analyst Hank Stram. And then another time, I was with CBS Radio, and we brought the great Vin Scully in to do the All-Star game here in Dodger Stadium. And of course, I was the analyst, unquote. And when you're the analyst with Mr. Scully at a baseball game, that's kind of an oxymoron. So I knew, get in, get out. Make leads here, do the promos, go on about your business. Game was scoreless through two. And Bob Welch, the late Bob Welch, came in to pitch for the National League. Willie Randolph, New York Yankees second baseman, slapped a single. And as you know, when a base runner gets on, time kind of slows. Steve Sachs can tell you how the pitchers take their time. Randolph, fully capable of stealing second base. So I thought, now's my time. So I began to tell the legendary Vin Scully, who knew more about the Dodgers than anybody, how Bob Welch had been working on this pickoff move. It was a snap throw, and before I could complete the sentence, Welch had picked Willie Randolph off second base. Now I'm at the microphone, so I go ahead and describe the pickoff. And in the dark of the night of Montana, when I've had a couple of beers, I tell my children, I stole an out from the great Vin Scully in Dodger Stadium one night. How did Vinny react? Pause, and went on describing Rod Carew as the next batter in the box. So for Vinny, if he'd ever like to come and steal a touchdown from me in Tuscaloosa, I'll be very glad to have him in the booth. He is a marvelous announcer. By far the best baseball announcer I have ever heard. And the other night, when we were in Montana, now you people in Los Angeles, you have celebrities and you have great concerts and actors and musicians all the time. But we were treated to the farewell tour of Paul McCartney. Small football stadium in Missoula, wonderful, closed in, 25,000 people, so appreciative. McCartney responded with one of the great concerts that I've ever heard, The Sound Through the Night. Hey Jude, echoing through, and as we were driving home, my boys who lived in Los Angeles as little boys and had season tickets to all the Dodger games, we began to talk about the great sounds through the night. And no one has ever been any better than Mr. Scully here in Los Angeles. The reason I'm here tonight is because of him, what he means to this industry. You are so blessed to have him here in Los Angeles, and I hope he never, ever even learns how to spell the word retirement. Thank you very much.